Namaste. Tonight I'm going to read book 11, chapter 9 on the rules of Sirovrata in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha. Hariom Tat Sat. Sri Narayana said, the Brahmanas that will perform duly the Sirovrata to be described in the following are the only ones who will attain very easily the highest knowledge, destroying all avidya or ignorance. So much so that the rules of right living and right conduct, as ordained in the Shrutis and Smritis, are not necessary to be observed by those who duly are devotedly perform the Sirovrata, i.e. vow of the head. I vow to apply ashes on the forehead. O learned one, it is through this Sirovrata that Brahma and the other Devas have been able to get their Brahmahood and the Devahood. The ancient sages glorified highly this Sirovrata. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, and the other Devas all performed the Sirovrata. O wise one, those that performed duly the Sirovrata all became sinless, though they were sinful in every way. Its name is Sirovrata as much as it is mentioned in the first part of the Atharva Veda. Only this Vrata vow is called Sirovrata. No other thing is denominated by this name. By no other merit can this be acquired. O Muni, different names are assigned to this Vrata in different Sankhyas. In fact, they are all one and the same. Pashupata, Vrata, Shiva Vrata, etc. are the different names assigned to it. In all the Sakhas, the one substance, intelligence, solidified, named Shiva, and the knowledge thereof is mentioned. This is Sirovrata. He who does not perform this Sirovrata is irreligious, and he is banished from all religious acts, though he is well qualified in all the branches of learning. There is no manner of doubt in this. This Sirovrata is like the blazing fire in destroying wholly the forest of sins. All knowledge flashes before him who performs this Sirovrata. The Atharva Shruti expounds the subtle and particularly incomprehensible things. This Shruti declares the above Sirovrata as daily to be done, so it is one of the daily observances. Fire is ashes, water is ashes, earth is ashes, air is ashes, ether or akasha is ashes, all this manifest universe is ashes. These 6 mantras stated in the Atharva Veda are to be recited. After this, ashes are to be besmeared all over the body. This is named the Sirovrata. The devotee is to put on these ashes named Sirovrata during his Sandhya Upasana, practicing Sandhya thrice a day, so long as the Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahma, does not arise in him. One is to make a Sankalpa resolve of 12 years before one starts with this Vrata. In cases of incapability, a period of 1 year or 6 months or 3 months, or at least 12 days are to be adopted. That guru is considered very cruel, and his knowledge will come to an end who hesitates and does not impart the knowledge of the Vedas and other things to him who is purified by observing this Sirovrata. Know him certainly as a very merciful Guru who illuminates the heart of Brahma Vidya, just as God is very merciful and compassionate to all the living beings. One who performs one's own dharmas for many births acquires particular faith in this Sirovrata. Others can have no faith in this. Rather, he gets animosity for this vrata because of the abundance of ignorance in him. So one ought never to advise on spiritual knowledge to an enemy who has no faith, rather who has hatred for any such thing. Those that are purified by the observance of Sirovrata are entitled to Brahmavidya and none others. So the Vedas command, those are to be advised on Brahmavidya who have performed Sirovrata. Even the animal becomes freed of his animalism as a result of this vrata. No sin occurs in killing that animal. This is the decision of the Vedanta. It has been repeatedly uttered by Javala Rishi that the dharma of the Brahmanas is to put on the tripundra, 3 curved lines of ashes on the forehead. The householders are instructed to put on this tripundra by repeating the mantra Triamvaka with Om prefixed. Those that are in the stage of the bhiksus, sannyasis, etc., are to put on this tripundra uttering thrice the mantra Om Hasa, such as regularly stated in Javala Struti. The householders and the vanaprasthis, foresters, are to put on this tripundra uttering Triamvaka mantra purified with Hom, the pranava of Shiva prefixed. And those that are the brahmacharis are to use daily this tripundra uttering the mantra Devi, etc. The brahmanas are to apply the ashes in 3 curved lines on the forehead. The god Shiva is always hidden under the cover of the ashes. So the Shivas, the devotees of Shiva, are to use the tripundra. The brahmanas are to use daily this tripundra. Brahma is the prime Brahmin. When he used tripundra on his forehead, what need to tell then that every Brahman ought always to use it? Never fail out of error to besmear your body with the ashes as prescribed in the Vedas and worship the Shiva Lingam. The sannyasis are to apply tripundra on their forehead, arms, chest, uttering the Triamvaka mantra with Om prefixed and also the 5-lettered mantra of Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. The brahmacharis should use tripundra of ashes obtained from their own fire, uttering the mantra Triyayusam Jamadagni, etc., or the mantra Medavi, etc. The Sudras in the service of the Brahmins are to use the ashes with devotion with the mantra Namah Shivaya. The other ordinary persons can use the tripundra without any mantra. To besmear the body all over with ashes and to put on the tripundra is the essence of all dharma. Therefore, this should be used always. The ashes from the Agnihotra sacrifice or from Virajagni, Viraja fire are to be carefully placed on a clean and pure basin. Cleansing hands and feet, one is to perform Achmana twice, and then taking the ashes in the hand, utter the 5 Brahma mantras. Sadyuyatam Prapadyami, etc., and perform short pranayam thrice. He is then to utter the 7 mantras. Fire is ashes, water is ashes, earth is ashes, teja is ashes, wind is ashes, ether is ashes, all this whatsoever is ashes, and purify and impregnate the ashes with the mantra by blowing out air through the mouth. Then one is to think of Mahadeva repeating the mantra, Om Apajyoti, etc., and apply dry ashes of white color all over the body and become sinless. After this, he is to meditate on the Mahavishnu, the Lord of the universe, and on the Lord of the waters, and repeat again the mantras, fire is ashes, and mix water with ashes. He is then to think of Shiva and apply ashes on his forehead. He used to think of the ashes as Shiva himself, and then with mantras appropriate to his work, to his own ashrama, stages of life, use the Tripundra on his forehead, chest and shoulders. By the middle finger and ring finger, he is to draw the two lines of the ashes from the left to the right. By his thumb, draw a third line of ashes from the right to the left. These Tripundras are to be used in the morning, midday, and in the evening. Here ends the 9th chapter on the 11th book on the rules of Sirovrata in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalitra Tuya Mata Chapitatum Tuya Bandusha Chasakatu Tuya Vidya Devinam Tuya Sarva Shanti Shanti Shanti.